Welcome to my channel, folks, Wildlife Ranger on YouTube for all things natural history, where today we will be looking at the next in the series of spring botany for the beginner, and we'll be looking at a flowering plant or shrub known as flowering currant or Ribes sanguineum. Now, the purists amongst us will have noticed that I am covering two species of small shrubs and a small tree in the spring botany series. The reason for doing so is these are amongst the first signs of flowers in spring available to the early bees and hoverflies, and are a welcome sign in the hedgerow. Indeed, these species often flower before their leaves appear. So, the three spring stalwarts that we will be looking at is the bright red flowers of flowering currant, Ribes sanguineum, the vivid yellow of the garden escapee known as Forsythia, and of course the delicate white flowers of Blackthorn appearing on the leaf stem before the leaves. We will of course be covering each species separately in detail, but here's a little sneak preview of some of the species that we've seen between late March and early April 2025. Okay folks, I wanted to tell you a little bit about the habitat that we're in today. We're basically in a piece of wasteland which was the site of an old former gravel quarry type holding area, and as a result of the various gravel and minerals and bits and bobs, it's quite a productive little site, and we will return here again, and I'll refer to it as Shelf Roundabout. It, from memory, is a very productive area for the small copper, largely due to the bramble. Here today we've just imaged a little piece of flowering currant, it being very early in spring, circa 17th of April 25. Behind me, the proverbial dandelion, but if one looks carefully at the white flowers, they are in fact hawkbits. And further back there is some coltsfoot. We also have some dame's violet and various other bedstraws which can be found midsummer later in the season. So we will be returning to this little spot, but I thought we'd just include this in the video on the loose shrubs. I'm going to depict some of the really early flowering shrubs which are conspicuous by their presence, namely Blackthorn, which is a white flower, Forsythia, which is a woody yellow flower or shrub, and of course flowering currant, which is a red bush or shrub. And those three shrubs are very early flowering shrubs which in spring stand out prolifically against a fairly barren background. So thought I'd just tell you a little bit about the habitat. Today you're joining me in a disused gravel yard, very much wasteland with early colonisers. Just having me dinner. Immediately behind me you have the view. Some essentials for field botany: sandwich, which is chicken paste and barbecue sauce. water, the temperature, absolutely essential for field botany. Loop or magnifying glass, whichever is necessary, and of course much overlooked in kneeling mat. If you are a field botanist that does his own photography, you will invariably find this very useful for saving on the knees. So that's just a little bit of field kit. We'll come back to that in other videos, but often it's best to go out prepared. Field mat, magnifier or loop, water, always have a supply of water on hot days like this, and of course some scram, which consists of a brown roll with some chicken paste and some barbecue sauce. So, as always folks, let's look at the features and characteristics of the plant which will enable us to identify it and find it in the field. The Latin name for flowering currant, Ribes sanguineum, is roughly derived from ribes meaning currant and sanguineum meaning blood or blood red, hence blood currant. It is also known by a number of common or vernacular names. Such common names include American currant, stinking currant, blood currant, red flowered currant, and winter currant. The veracity and success as a garden escapee is probably attributable to birds distributing the seeds from the fruit. Flowering currant is a member of the family Grossulaceae, and it is a small shrub that can grow up to 3 meters high. The flowers of the shrub are a rich source of nectar for early bees and butterflies in particular. So let us look at the flower structure of this deciduous shrub, which produces clusters of pendant racemes of tubular flowers in shades of deep pink to red, approximately 3 to 7 centimeters long in early spring, often before the plant comes fully into leaf. Let's have a look at the little florets. They are approximately 5 to 10 millimeters in diameter and are found in racemes of 5 to 15 florets, which are erect, stiffly spreading or descending. There are 5 stamens arising from the hypoanthum and 2 styles which appear to the eye to be fused and have yellow capitate stigmas. The plant flowers from March to the end of April, beginning of May. The leaves of flowering currant are palmately lobed with 5 lobes and relatively small, approximately 2 to 7 centimeters long or 1 to 3 inches. Here we have the leaves of flowering currant on the rear, showing the venation, and on the front showing the overall shape of the leaf. The berries of flowering currant are not particularly tasty or edible and best left to the birds. They develop a knobbly structure and are hairy outer surface, and also a bloom on the surface of the skin. The habitat of the flowering currant has been shown throughout and as follows. In the 2019 edition of Stace reflects that there are currently 8 species of ribes growing in the wild, yielding a possibility of confusion on some of the similar species. Well, that's it from me, folks. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this video in the Beginner's Botany series has helped you find and identify this particular plant. Please like, share and subscribe the channel in order that it becomes successful, so that we can take the time to bring you another in the series. I hope you will be able to join me on the next trek, hopefully in the sunshine, to find the next plant in the British flora. Thank you again for watching.